What's up, guys? Welcome back to 5280. Today, we're back with the 04 Toyota Solara. Now, there's a lot of stuff that we need to do in order to get this back to the owner. The outside, well, it's been raining every single day, so I think it's kind of a lost hope, except for these. These definitely seen better days. I'm not going to replace them. I am going to restore them with this. I've had this for several years. I don't know if this is still something that they have on the market, but it worked really good on my wife's Acura TL when she still had that. So we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it on this. Effectively, we're going to detail this whole interior. So let's show you what we need to do as far as some TLC. First things first, this interior is dusty. You see there's just dust everywhere. So you wiped it off there. Some schmutz wiped off there. Now, there's other things like this is dirty, probably from somebody's knee rubbing against it. All of this is dirty as well. So we're gonna clean stuff up like that. Soda stains and all that, and get all the junk out of here. I will say, some of this junk is mine. Sorry? But we'll clean it up. The name of the game is to return this car in better shape than what I got it in. So all of the little things that I can do to help bring this back, I will. I can't really do much about the sun-faded plastic, but what I could try to do is bring a little bit of hydration back in the plastic, make it look somewhat better, hopefully, possibly. And then I'll just get all of the dirt and grime and stuff. I'm gonna vacuum. I don't have time to shampoo the floors, but I will get a real good vacuum and a good wipe down on everything. Hopefully I can get some of the dirty griminess out of the steering wheel. Maybe change this color back to, I don't know, an even tone, maybe? Yeah, you see that? Yep, we'll change that back to an even tone. And hopefully get between the seats and stuff like that, right there. Now, I am not picking on the person that owns this car. This is a loved one of theirs that passed away. So what we're gonna do is clean it, get it as pretty as possible, get it back to them, and they can enjoy it, because this car, to some, might look like a worn out car, but to them, it is a sentimental piece. And, you know, really what I want to do is say thank you and give it back to them in a better shape than what I got it in. Not saying that the car was in bad shape, just saying it's the polite thing to do. Now that it's a convertible, it makes this a lot easier. So really what we need to do is get a trash bag, go through here, get all the trash and all the extra stuff we don't need out, and then we'll start vacuuming. There. All right, let's start with back here. You didn't see anything. That's my trash. Towel. For a later discussion.
Don't forget to bring a towel. Okay.
It's my stuff. Oh, man, it probably helped that I just got my stuff out of here. It looked 10 times better. Don't forget your safety glasses. Nice. Look at this. So, automotive archaeology. An unopened user's guide to features and functions of this car. Yeah. It's good stuff right there. Yeah. So instead of keeping the cheesy jokes going, we're gonna just go ahead and go to time lapse. And now. Now?
No, I ain't never gonna
First thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with our 1,000 grit. Make sure you get some water. It's water, I promise you. And I'm just going to get the headlight wet again because we're going to wet sand. And I just like getting it just soaked. Same on that. So here's the first thing I would tell you. Assuming you're following me on this, which I doubt you are, go in one direction the whole time. Not the stupid group, but when you're standing here, go up and down. And when you go to your 3,000, you can go side to side or vice versa. But don't go like swirls or whatever. It's going to be really hard to sand if you're doing that. Think of it this way. You're going up and down. You're putting scratches into it. You're putting fine scratches and you're taking out some of the deeper scratches. Now, if you're going swirls like this, it's harder to get those scratches out. So when you go up and down like this with 1,000, you go to your 3,000, and what you're doing is you're knocking down those scratches and you're essentially making your life a lot easier. Go. So you're going to spend the most time with your 1,000 grit just because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the most of that yellow hazy stuff out of it with 1,000 grit. And then your 3,000 is going to help just a little bit, but more or less get the scratches that the 1,000 grit put in. Get those scratches out. And then after you're done with the 3,000, you're going to step to compound and then a polish, or if you get that kit, whatever they have in there. And the nice thing is you don't need anything really special in order to do this. If you get that kit, you just kind of need a little bit of elbow grease. You can see getting all of that grime off, and it's coming down and running down onto the rest of the car. Not a bad idea to wash the car after this before you seal it. So once you seal it, you don't want it to get wet for 24 hours. This corner is a little hard to get to, so what I'll do is just take this off and just do it by hand right there instead of using the palm. Now, I don't know if you guys are seeing much difference there, but you can see it's hazy still, but there's no yellow tint to it. Pulling the yellow tint out of it. I don't know if the camera's still picking up the yellow tint up here, but the other thing is you drag your hand across it, it is way smoother. So if it's rough right here, and then you go here, it's super smooth. I'm going to keep going in this spot here. I just still see some scratches right there that are pretty deep here and here. I'm going to try to get those out. I don't know how successful I will be in that, but this would be the time to do it. Yeah, you can see real hazy, but super smooth to the touch. Still really hazy, but yellow tint and rough to the touch. So this is kind of what you're looking for. It means you're making good progress. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, most people will just tape the car off, so you're not gonna scratch the paint or anything like that. To be honest, if I run off the lens and I get the paint, I'm probably polishing it. There's a lot of swirl marks. The front end of this car is kind of pitted from a lot of rocks. Done a lot of highway miles. Almost 200,000 on this. So, yeah, not really concerned. Now, when we do our sealant, of course, I'm going to tape it off. Tape it off. 3,000. Throw that on there. Rinse and repeat. Yeah, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Okay. No? Okay. So like I said, we went up and down. Now we're going to go right to left. Time for the compound. So this is kind of like a wool pad. Comes to the kit. Put it on your drill. So now if you use the stuff that's in the drill, like the compound and polish stuff that they have, you just pretty much kind of do the same step. Then you just don't really have to polish afterwards. I'm doing a compound and then a polish. So I'm adding an extra step, but I'm getting a better result. So just put a couple of dime size drops on there. And then what I'm going to do is just going to kind of spread it out a little bit. And then I'm just gonna go slow with it, just to kind of get it spread around like this, and turn it up. I'm gonna wipe it down. I rinsed this wool pad, so it still had a lot of water kind of trapped in it, so that's why everything looked like it was running. It's gonna do the same thing. Do probably 2 more passes in this one spot, since I really had to dig in with the sandpaper. It's looking really good. That lens is pretty clear. I think I actually am done with that. I think I don't need the extra pass. I am going to do probably 3 passes, at least here in this area. I'll probably do 2 here, so I'll do an extra pass in this area again, because that's where the light's coming through. So again, rinse and repeat. So lost a little bit of footage, camera overheated, but we are done with the compounding. So got done with wet sanding, got the compound done, and I did 2 passes everywhere except for one part. I did a 3rd pass here, just for a little bit of extra clarity. Now, I am going to polish, and what the polish is going to do is just get any little extra imperfection that the compound leaves behind out, and then bring out the clarity as well. So we have one more step. Now, again, if you're using the stuff in the kit, you really don't have to do this because it's got a compound and polish. Basically, it's just a less aggressive compound is the best way to put it. So you'll probably have to do a couple more passes to get clarity that you want. Using McGuire's Ultimate Polish, not sponsored by these guys, not even sponsoring myself. Couldn't even afford to sponsor myself. But speaking of sponsors, since the phone keeps overheating in the garage, Mrcool, if you guys want to hook a YouTuber up, a guy that has like 70 followers or subscribers, and a guy that posts every, once every other month, I'd say on average, and a guy that's got a broken V70R that would love to start on it, but it's just too hot this summer and just too cold in the winter to work in the garage. Jeez, thinking. Anyway, I'm gonna do what we've been doing. I don't think you really need to do this, but I'm gonna throw the drill in reverse and go the opposite way that I did the polish or the compounding. Maybe that'll help a little bit with the clarity on the polish, or I just might be blowing smoke up my own butt, but we'll see. So pretty much the same thing as what I did with the compound, and spread it out. And then just go full bore. I'm gonna turn on this car. We're gonna take our isopropylene alcohol, this thing soaked in it, and we are gonna just clean anything off of this. This is what comes in the kit, and this is probably the whole reason to get the kit. Get this and this guy. This is the applicator pad. Get it on there and just kind of rub it in. And try not to get it on the paint. If you're not as steady of hand, maybe tape off the car. Voila. It'll dry, clear. It'll look a lot better. Car's all finished. Like everything's 100% done. Fully detailed on the inside, as you saw. And suspension is good. There are a couple of things that I would say were unexpected with the detail. Like, I don't know how well you can see, but there's black smudges over there, and I wiped pretty hard on everything here. I just didn't want to crack the dash even worse. So there's a couple of things that probably could be improved on, but it was a kind of quick detail. And the only thing I would maybe do in hindsight is get a magic eraser. Magic eraser would make things so much easier. But everything turned out great. As far as the steering wheel, looks night and day difference. The radio, the console, everything turned out really good and looks really clean. I kind of went through and sterilized everything with soap and water. So that was a big thing there. And then I wiped everything down with a good plastic cleaner to kind of hydrate the plastic a little bit as well. And some of the plastics actually absorbed it almost immediately. So, but everything couldn't be any happier with the way it turned out. And realistically, I think the owner of this vehicle is going to be pretty pleased with the way it looks. So, until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. Yeah. Towels for when it rains.